This video is actually inspired by Akshay Texo. I just want to say thank you. I wanted to mention you in this video because you had asked that I do a get to know me type of video once we hit 2,000 subscribers on the channel, which we did. Yay! And I really am grateful for all 2,000 subscribers on this channel, that you actually give me your attention, that you actually watch my videos, that you actually like them. Like, I'm always so amazed at everything that you all do. So I just wanted to say thank you. There's a giveaway coming up soon, so look out for it. But I wanted to just kind of kick off those celebrations and our next milestone on this channel with this get to know me video. So you know me, I don't like wasting time to get into the content of the video, so let's get straight into the questions that I'm gonna answer. I have some questions here and they are basically a way for you to get to know me. So I'll read out the question, I'll answer it, and then you'll learn something about me. Okay, so the first question says, are you single? And the answer to that question is no, I'm not. I've been married for 9.5 years. In 2021, I'd been married for 10 years. I got married in 2011. Here's a picture of my husband and I on our wedding day in 2011. My husband and I do have a 7-year-old little boy who keeps us on our feet all the time. He's just a great character, my son. And so yeah, that's I'm not single. I am married. I do have a child. So that's a bit about my family. Now, somebody had asked to tell a little bit about my family. I don't know if there's so much to tell. What I can say is that my family is very, very supportive of me. Both my husband and my son are really supportive. Like, they will step out of the room. They will, you know, my son is not always so quiet enough for me to record videos, but they do respect that, you know, I do this as part of my business. And so my husband gives me a lot of space, and I also give him a lot of space to do his stuff because he has stuff that he's interested in. And I think that that's, like, you know, not to make this a marriage advice or relationship advice channel, but, you know, in a marriage and in a relationship, when you both support each other's dreams, it tends to go better than if everybody's just trying to impose their will on each other. So my husband is a dream husband. He's been super supportive of what I'm doing here on YouTube, what I do on social media, of my whole business. He is also my numbers guy. He is a bookkeeper, so he makes sure that all my numbers are straight. When it comes to tax season, we live in the US and we have tax season every year somewhere in from January to April, and he makes sure that I'm on point with that. And I already said my son. I don't like to put children on social media just because my child currently on social media, just because of, you know, stories I've heard and all that. So just know he's a 7-year-old boy. The next question says, are you named after anyone? Yes. I have a middle name. It's Odamia. And Odamia is a Ghanaian name. And so I'm named after my grandmother, my paternal grandmother. I am the first girl of my family, or the firstborn actually of my family. And my father named me after his mother. So Odamia is the name that I have after my grandmother. Gertrude, my mother just liked the name. I carried my father's last name upon for the longest time until I got married. But yeah, I am named after my grandmother. All right, this is fun. Let's look at the next question. Where are you from? Originally, I'm from Ghana in West Africa. Okay, that's where I was born. I grew up until I was 20 years old. Then I came to the United States to study in college in 2003. And then just continued to study until I got my PhD, got married. And by the time you get married and get a PhD and have a baby, you kind of begin to form roots. So I do think that maybe one day we will, or maybe, I think we will move to Ghana at some point. But right now, this is where I am. So I'm Ghanaian, based in the US. Who did you look up to when you were growing up? There are a lot of people I looked up to. There were lots of people I looked up to, okay? So I'll tell you a few of them. So first of all, even though I'm not her biggest fan currently, I did look up to Oprah because I think she was like the first dark-skinned black woman I would see on TV, and she'd be interviewing all these really interesting people. And I've said it in a video before, a long time ago, I think, but like, I used to rehearse myself. Like, I used to walk a lot when I was growing up. Like, I had to go during the vacation in Ghana. Okay, so let me just tell you a bit about my childhood. So when I was living in Ghana, around the time I was in middle school, which was between when I was 12 and 15, there was this national exam called the BECE. It's a Basic Education Certificate exam. You have to take that when you're 15 years old, or when you're in, like, over here in the US, I guess that would be the 9th grade. This is just before high school. You would take this exam in order to go to high school. And the way high schools work in Ghana is really different from how it works in the US. In Ghana, you go to a junior high school, take the BECE, then based on your grades, you get to go to, I need to be looking here, not at my viewfinder. And then based on the grades that you get on the exam, you go to a specific school in the country. So the way it worked was like, if you got the best grades, you went to certain kinds of schools, kind of like how college works here, where, you know, if you get good grades, you go to Harvard and Yale and all these other schools. I mean, if you get good grades, you could go to some other school too. But I'm just saying, just having that concept of like tiers of school. So there was that. And so my father allowed me to go to these extra studies, extra classes, just so that I could improve upon my grades. And so I had to walk there, okay? And back then, I mean, we lived in a very safe neighborhood. There was nothing like kidnapping kids. Even if you heard of people kidnapping kids, it was usually in the city, and we lived in a rural area. So I'd walk to this class, and all the way from home to the class, I would be interviewing my imaginary people around me. So I just talk and talk and talk all my way there by myself, you know. And I was very introverted as a kid, so I found a lot of solace talking to myself, you know. So I did that. So I really looked up to Oprah. Then there was a second person I looked up to, and it wasn't even a person, it was a group of people. The high school I went to is called Wesley Girls High School in Ghana, and this high school had you know, some of the best girls students from around the country, right? And so I went to this school and I just looked up to those girls, right? They wore a green uniform. They still wear a green and yellow uniform. It's different from what they used to wear. I don't know if they still wear it, but they don't wear that uniform for school anymore. So they had this uniform that was green and yellow, and I always saw that uniform as like a representation of greatness. And I really wanted to, every time I would see a Wesley Girls girl, I'd be like, oh my goodness, they're so smart, and I look forward to being like them someday. And then of course my parents were also great role models for me. My mother is a teacher, my father is a retired research scientist, and so just having both of them to look up to in terms of education was also really helpful. Favorite way to pass time? I wish I had something more interesting to tell you. I do not. I just watch TV. Because I got into a really bad habit of being a workaholic, so I was working all the time. But more recently, I'm learning to just take time for myself. I walk a lot. You know, if you watch this video here where I talk about like 3 habits that have improved my life, I talked about exercise. So definitely, like, exercise is a great way for me to pass time. But I also like to watch TV. I like to watch romantic comedy. I love to watch spy movies. I like to watch crime movies. Currently, the series I'm on is Cold Case, if anybody remembers that show. I don't know, that show is good, but like there's no color in the show. The whole show is like it's colored on color TV, but like whatever filter they use makes the whole movie look so cold. I guess that was the theme, like Cold Case. I don't know. But anyway, it's a good show and I'm watching that currently. Favorite color? Anything bright. I love reds, I like pinks, I like yellows. Do they always look great on me? I don't think so, but I do like bright colors. I don't have a favorite color per se. My mother-in-law would say red for sure. If she watches this, she's gonna be like, she's lying, it's red. But yeah, like I said that already, reds, pinks, bright colors, I like those. How tall are you? I am about 5'5". Yeah, 5 foot 5 inches. I don't know what that's in centimeters. I'm not that quick with conversions. This next question says, are you more likely to avoid conflict or engage in the conflict? I'm somewhere in the middle, to be honest. I think if people are closer to me, then I don't mind like telling them the truth and laying down the law and drawing boundaries, right? So with my family, or with people close to me, definitely like I'll call you out on things and we'll hash it out. I don't like to keep things in. I think it's toxic to do that. If the person is somebody I do not know, it definitely is more difficult for me to address the situation because I don't know them and I don't know what language they'll get, or I think sometimes I'm more afraid of being misunderstood, you know, and them taking it the wrong way. So I tend not to engage so much in that. But usually I just do, or if it's somebody older or somebody that I respect, then it becomes difficult for me to confront it. So definitely I will confront it if you're close to me. If you're not, I'll find a way to say it, but I don't like conflict in general. I don't like to be fighting with anybody, so I avoid it, I guess. Are you a fan of any sport? So there are two sports I do. Well, there are several sports I enjoy. I like to watch tennis. I like American football or football. I definitely like the real football. Yes, the one that in America is called soccer, okay? I enjoy that. But usually with soccer, right, because that is a major game played everywhere else in the world except, well, majorly, except in the US, right? Usually my emotions are tied to that because Ghana is a team that usually plays in the more recently plays in the World Cup series that happens, I think, every 4 years or so. My heart gets entangled in that, and so because of that I don't like soccer so much, because every time my country gets beaten I get really sad. So but soccer, American football, and tennis I enjoy. I don't have any favorite teams per se, but I enjoy them. Okay, this is a weird question, but it has to do with movies. Do you prefer Titanic or The Notebook? I've watched both movies. I prefer The Notebook. And if you're watching this, actually, that's a very interesting question. Let me know, like, are you a Titanic person or a Notebook kind of movie person? Let me know in the comments. How many countries have you been to? So, I lived in Ghana most of my life. But the first time I was coming to the US, I transited through Gambia. So I've been to Gambia in transit. I've lived in the US for almost 18 years now. I've been to the UK. I actually spent some time there. My father studied for his PhD in the UK, so we spent some time in Wales, so I've been there. And I think that's it. Yeah, these are the countries I've been to. Yeah. I should travel more. Dream job growing up was to be a doctor. It was. I became one. I have a PhD. I didn't become the kind of doctor I wanted when I was a kid. I wanted to become a medical doctor when I was growing up. I became a scientific doctor, which is great. So any regrets? No, not really. Sometimes I wonder what it would have been like if I had gone to medical school. But that's about it. Maybe and I'm not that old, so maybe one day I will do that. And speaking of age, how old am I? 37. I am 37 years old. I turned 37 this year. Next year, I'll be 38. So I guess I'm one of the older ones here on YouTube, but who cares? And I think that's it. That's a little bit about me. I hope you got to know me a little bit through this conversation. I didn't want to make this too long, so I just limited the questions, but hopefully you got to know me a little bit better. And let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this video, and let me know something about you that most people don't know. I'd like to get to know you as well.